were so many, I just kind of put several people ask. Will there be DC digital comics on VeVe?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And that is not a confirmation or an approval. We'll just have to see what the future holds.
Got it. Okay. Nate asks, can you organize the comics a little better, perhaps by having the comic, and then if you click on it, you can choose from the 5 different rarities?
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, as Reese mentioned earlier, this is comics version 1, and we will be continuing to iterate it to improve things like better organization. One of the reasons we haven't rolled that out just yet is because we have a fairly limited number of comics released at the moment, and we have a bit of a target number in mind. And once we reach that release number, we'll start to roll out some additional features which will just help you better organize the comics. And actually, on that note as well, we have made some updates and improvements in the app to get rid of that damn annoying switcher bar, which nobody seems to see. Yeah, I'm glad to see the back of it. So one of the it could be in the next app rollout. I'll have to double check with the team. But the first step will be, number 1, just integrating comics into your main collection screen. So you'll basically see your showrooms, then you'll see your collectibles, then you'll see your comics, and then any comics you're reading will always be first in that list. And then, like the other features within the collection, you'll be able to click the see all to go through and then see your full list of comics. So that'll be the first rollout in terms of the switcher bar removal, and then that will be shortly followed by the store as well. And within the store, the other update that's coming into that with integrating comics is that we'll have a nice big banner show up in the coming soon drop section, or in the drop section for comics as well. So, really the feedback that we had from the community is that they were a little bit hard to find. A lot of people were expecting to see them on the store page. We had a couple of limitations when we were rolling the comics out, but yeah, please be assured that we've been working hard to sort of integrate comics into the store and the collection, just so they're a lot easier to access.
Awesome. That's great news. I, for one, am very happy to hear that. And then kind of similarly, a similar question in that same vein, Jordan asks, when you click to notify for comics, it does not show up in your wish list. Can this be fixed?
Yes, that is on the list as well. There's just a few kind of UI updates that we need to make in order to get the comics showing in that wish list section. So yes, that is absolutely on the roadmap.
Awesome. Okay, and actually that took care of several other comic questions. So thank you for that, Dan. One other question, and then we'll go back to the stage. Crypto Baby asks, how are the comic covers selected for each rarity? Does Marvel select them, or is it a joint decision with VeVe?
That all comes from Marvel. So basically, the comics are broken down into certain percentages, as an X% common, X% uncommon, and so on. But we work very closely with Marvel, on a weekly, if not daily basis, to establish the rarities, the cover types. So yeah, Marvel are a very, very involved partner, which we love, and they provide a lot of sort of good guidance on how we should be distributing these rarities. And that's why you see the rarities of the comics are quite different from the collectibles, where with the comics, the majority of them are common, so at least you can get in there and read it if you're lucky enough to get one. But then obviously, you have that 1 in X chance of getting one of the sort of rare covers. So yes, TLDR, basically that information comes from Marvel.
And just kind of further to that, we have a lot of the classic comics and some of the more modern comics. So that's why you see a reason why you see more variation a lot of times in some of the modern comics is because there's actually more variant covers that exist in the physical world in those later years. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, comics these days do come out with variant covers. So yeah, I think I touched last time that we have two categories of comics coming out from Marvel. One is Marvel, I think it's called Marvel Classics, which is basically anything before, I think it's 1990. So that's, you know, your Marvel #1s, your What If #1. And as you mentioned, Alex, you know, back then there wasn't this huge big comic industry, so often there aren't as many variant covers to go around for those particular issues. However, you know, as always, we're monitoring, you know, the feedback from the community, and we discuss that with Marvel very in depth, and that's why you've seen over the last few drops, or probably over the past couple of weeks, there is some further variation, even in the classic comics. So it's and that's something that we can expect to continue moving forward.